Every time that you are obsessed with something outside of yourself, whether that be a person, an idea, an outcome, whatever it is, the further away you are getting from yourself. Typically, I've noticed whenever I start to obsess over something, it is because I'm either lacking purpose or I'm not living in my purpose. Today, we're going to get into why we tend to obsess over things and then also how to bring it back to you. Because at the end of the day, you are your fullest self. You are your best self. You are your most magnetic self when you bring that energy back to you. Welcome back to another episode of Way Too Wifey. This is like the last few episodes that I will be having as Way Too Wifey because I am changing the name soon. It's still going to be basically the same podcast. I'm just expanding it a little bit and talking a little bit more about not just dating. If you've been listening to the last few episodes, you already know this. It's so funny. I think the episodes that do the best are the ones where I'm just speaking from my heart and I don't really have an agenda, but I kind of have a little bit of a plan. Also, oh my God, happy New Year's. Guys, I don't know what it is. 2026, I know everyone is saying this, but like truly 2026 feels already so much lighter than it did in 2025. I'm praying that this is like the year. I'm setting myself up. I feel very grounded and connected with where I'm going and what I'm doing. I'm hoping that you also feel this way. Really, the whole reason why I wanted to talk about this in this episode was because I was having a little bit of a reflection moment the other day, and I was starting to slip into, I guess maybe towards the end of like 2025, when we all kind of have these somewhat of a reflection moment of the past year of our lives. And I started thinking, I'm like, I'm so bored in life. I'm so like, I don't have like my thing that I'm doing. Like I took a step back from coaching. I still have like a few people that I'm wrapping up with. And I still, by the way, have, if you want to just book a single call, that is out there still, but I don't know how long I'll be keeping that up, but as for right now, I know a lot of my past clients love to just book in whenever. So feel free to still use that. Having slowed down the business like significantly, and then also now working a 9-to-5 and just like feeling like I'm living on a repeat of a day and it's just like the same boring, like I don't really have a love life right now. I realize that like my friend group is shrinking and shrinking, really truly want to focus and lock in. And I feel like I've done the mourning. I feel like December, I was like mourning my old self. The start of this year, I've had such a switch of energy. Like, okay, now it's game time. Let's go. Let's move. Let's get this done. I started to have this moment in December where everything was just kind of boring. And I started getting a little obsessive over things that like should not be obsessed over. People maybe that should not be obsessed over. And just like looping back into old patterns. And I'm like, no, we're not doing this. Like, this is not the energy that we're bringing into the new year. I don't want to flip the new year and be obsessed with like something that just does not matter. Because I've been there in the past and I've realized, and I had this like light bulb moment where I was like, why am I like overly obsessed with this right now? Because this is not healthy. And I think you got to get real with yourself. If you're in the state where you are obsessing over someone or something, get so honest with yourself. It's obvious. I've not been doing things that fulfill me. I've not been living in my purpose. I've not been putting myself out there, making content and doing the things that I actually love. Of course, I've been consistent with the podcast, but making like, pushing out content on Instagram and TikTok and whatever, I haven't been posting and I haven't been coaching. So it's like, I really am lacking like my purpose. Like I'm lacking creativity. It's very obvious. Every time that I've ever obsessed with someone or something, it's been because I haven't been living in my purpose and I haven't been doing the things that fill me up and that utilize my creative energy. And I feel like when you start to obsess with someone or something, it's bringing you further and further away from yourself. And it's using up all of your creative energy to making up and living in this Delulu land of like possibilities with a person that you don't even probably really know, or you like a thing or an outcome that you're so obsessed with happening because you don't have anything in your own life that is bringing you fulfillment. So instead of taking a step back and saying, how can I actually add value to my own life and creativity and fun and bring that spark back? How can I do that to where I'm not so focused and fixated on something that just isn't bringing me any sort of peace or love or like fulfillment, really? And I think it's okay to like really be interested in someone or something, or like have something to pour into. But is that something that you're pouring into, whether that be a person, a thing, an idea, or whatever, is wherever you're pouring your energy into, is it giving back to you, or is it draining you of your energy and draining you of your creative juices to where you at the end of the day don't want to do the things that you know that you should be doing to get to where you want to go? Just having that moment, I'm like, oh my God, wait, I think I just cracked the code. I really, truly, anytime that I've ever been obsessed with something or something, it's been because I've been bored in my own life. And I haven't been doing the things that bring me fulfillment and happiness and whatever. And I haven't been adding into my life. Like, what are the small actions that you can take on the day to day to where you actually feel like you're making a difference in your own life and you're bringing so much value to you and pouring into yourself? Where can you give into yourself to where the outside external things don't matter as much? Yeah, I think that's really I cracked the code, and I'm like, wow, this is why I've been so fixated on this thing, because I truly don't have enough going on in my own life to be excited about. And this thing that I've been fixated on is giving me this sense of excitement and novelty that I've been craving. I think every January I really get into this like romanticize life again and like, focus on you. I mean, I've always been like, okay, focus on you, but romanticizing life again. And I really had to take a step back. I'm like, my life is so flat, like boring, vanilla. I go to work, I go to the gym, I go home, I eat, I go to sleep, and then I wake up and I do it all over again. And it's just like, there's no flavor. And then on the weekends, I've been spending it with friends that like go out, and I'm like, I don't want to live this life anymore. This is not fulfilling. I want to grow. I want to pour into myself. I want to do stuff that is going to make my future self happy, because I will tell you what I won't be doing again. I will not be getting to the end of the year in December and looking back like, I just wasted another year. Great. I'm getting older. We're all getting older. Okay. And I'm not saying that age should be a factor in this at all. At what point are you going to take life seriously? At what point are you going to outgrow the things that aren't working for you? Because not everything in your life gets to come with you on this next chapter. I think I just had that moment where I'm like, okay, where can I pour back into me that I haven't been? Or how can I make my life more exciting and romanticize it once again to where I'm excited about the possibilities and what's happening, and I'm starting to maybe get more momentum and traction. It's like I had to take a look at my life. Where in my life do I feel like I'm lacking? And I feel like, for starters, for sure, because I've taken the step back with coaching, I think pouring more into like the podcast or pouring more into my other pursuits where I'm trying to go, I feel like that's where I need to pour my energy in so that I can get the creative juices and start to live back into a flow state. But starting to romanticize life again, I think when you start to think about this, look in the areas of life that you feel like aren't so exciting, and maybe exclude your love life from this. Maybe don't. But I think when you pour so hard into your love life, when other areas of your life aren't so abundant and you're solely focused on finding your person and that's the only thing that matters to you, I almost feel like you're setting yourself up for failure, because you will get stuck in a cycle where you're pouring and you're obsessing over someone that just isn't pouring back into you. So that's why I think it's important, before you even get to that phase where you're solely focused on just like love and finding the one, start pouring back into yourself. And what areas of your life do you not feel so fulfilled? For me, currently. I think my friendship life and getting to the end of the year and getting to my birthday, and I will say this time and time again, quality over quantity, 1,000%. But I think where I'm going, what I want to do with my life, I have to be surrounded by people who are either doing better than me, who are supportive and like, yes, let's do this, who are on the same wavelength to where they're also creating, they're putting themselves out there, they're running businesses. Like, I need to be around expansive people at this point in my life. Otherwise, I will spend the year doing the same things. And if you're at a point in your life where you're taking a look around at your friendship circle and you're like, you know what? I don't really speak the same language as these people anymore. And I just saw a TikTok clip on this morning, but they were talking about how start to hang out with these friends, you get really comfortable with them. It's a lot of time has passed. And then what you did to bond with these people was maybe not the best healthy patterns that you were in, whether that's going out, whether that's, you know, for guys like, oh, they connected over playing video games, just unhealthy dynamics. You don't really do much with this person besides drinking, going out, whatever it is. You start to get into this really comfortable pattern with these people. If you inside, you know that you want to grow and you start to like, oh, let me, you know, try out the gym. Let me like get into like a health habit. And then that kind of becomes your whole personality. Take it and you run with it. When you want to talk about like, oh, like this is like my goal. And you start to have these conversations with the same friends that have been going out and they're like, why are you up on a Sunday at 7 a.m. taking a run? Like, I don't understand that. Slowly but surely you start to change, but your friends aren't changing at the same rate that you are. And they're still doing the same things that make them comfortable. At a certain point, you're going to outgrow those people. I kind of feel like that's where I'm at right now. And I hate to say that. And that doesn't mean that these people are awful people, that you're never going to talk to them again. But I think the more that you pour into yourself and the more you want to grow, and the people are kind of just staying where they're at, I think the less and less you have to talk about, the further and further you kind of drift naturally, because you're not into the same things. You don't want to do, you're not going in the same direction. So it's like, at a certain point, you probably will outgrow these people, but it's maybe a slow, gradual process, right? Like maybe it's not a hard stop, F you, we're never going to be friends again. But maybe it's a, let me distance myself a little bit and let me pour into me and what I find important and where I want to go. And then we'll hang out. If I want to have a fun night here and there, I'll call them up. I've realized this, and even past friends, like when I was in Miami and I wanted to grow and expand my own self, the same people that I was hanging out with towards the end, I'm like, I can't keep hanging out with these people. This is not it. You start to get in these patterns where it's so hard to break unless you are making an active change. And so anyway, back to what I was saying, romanticizing life in the sense that like, this is one area of my life that I feel unfulfilled with. And I just last night, I was like, how can I network with girls who are growth mindset, who are going somewhere, who take fitness and health and wellness seriously? And so I found this event last night that is doing Pilates, sound healing, and vision boarding on a yacht with girls on a weekend. And I'm like, that is so on brand. So I signed up for it. Honestly, yesterday I had this thing where I'm like, I used to be so comfortable in the year 2024. I don't know why this was like such a major year for me, but it was all about doing things by myself and being fine with doing everything by myself. Where yesterday I wanted to go to this concert and I invited my friends to go and they both bailed last minute. And I'm like, that's really annoying because I really wanted to go to this concert. And then after the time had passed where I was like, should I go by myself? Should I not go by myself? I decided to not go by myself. But I think had I gone, I think when you do things by yourself, you're activating this like, I'm stepping into the unknown. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who I'm going to meet. I might not meet anyone. It might be really awkward, but I'm putting myself out there to actually grow and expand and to do what I want to do so that I feel more comfortable doing things by myself and that like I'm not scared to do things by myself. And I think had I gone, I probably would have enjoyed myself, honestly, but that's why I was like, okay, if I'm not going to go, then I'm signing myself up for something that I can do by myself, that I'll make connections for sure. And so this was the event that I signed up for. But I think bringing in the spark back into your life, figure out what area of your life that is stagnant. What can you do? How can you add into that area of life? And I was talking to my friend about this whole idea that I just had, my epiphany moment about being obsessed. I'm like, because we both get obsessive over things and fixated on things, but sometimes it's not always bad. She went through a phase recently where it was like she made yoga her entire personality. It's healthy because you're pouring back into you. You're getting grounded. You're getting flexible. You're moving your body. Like, this is something that you can be obsessed with that is actually pouring back into you. And now she's like, I'm on my church girl era. Like, getting obsessed with like faith-based things or things that actually benefit you, I don't think that that's an unhealthy obsession, because you're pouring out your energy to get something in return that is actually benefiting you in the long term. So being obsessed, having an obsessive personality, because I do have an obsessive personality and I tend to get really fixated on things, but it's where you put your energy, making sure that where your energy is going is also pouring back into you. And I think that that's just really what it comes down to. It's like, yes, if you have an obsessive personality and you know that, then at least let those obsessions pour back into you. I think the thing is too, I go through phases in life where I'm like, I'm so focused on this one thing, but then it kind of gets old. You kind of seek that novelty once again. So I had my own yoga phase where I was such a yogi. I was like that girl. I became a yoga instructor and then I got bored. And then I moved on to the next thing. And then I was a gym girly. And then I went through phases with that. But it's all about what you're pouring back into yourself. I've just realized that even if it's just a hobby, right? I also thought this year, I'm like, if this is the case and I know this about myself and I'm aware that I am a obsessive person, then what new thing, what new activity, what new hobby can I pour into that's going to pour back into me? And so this year, I'm making it a point. I want to get really into boxing. Dubai is so big on boxing. It's like every gym has like a boxing area. So it's so funny because the guy that disappeared after Christmas literally gifted me boxing gloves. And I'm like, you know what? The best thing that could have came out of this was boxing gloves and wraps. Like, you just set me up for my next year, so thank you. Get clear on the life or the goal that you want for yourself, and then make your environment agree with that goal. Whether that's getting rid of people, places, the atmosphere that you're currently in, stepping away from what's comfortable so that you can actually step into your path of growth. If you want to live the same exact year that you lived last year, then stay comfortable, stay small, stay doing what you've been doing. But I really think this is the year for fast movement, for fast growth. It is a 1 year, the number one in numerology year, massive new beginnings. Start that thing. What one goal or thing that you want to start this year or within the next week, commit to making a plan around that one thing that you've been putting off that you really want to do. Anyways, that is it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you got some kind of value out of it. And if you have, please leave that 5-star rating, that thumbs up. Wherever you're watching this, there is some kind of rating system. This is how the podcast gets pushed out. And I'm so grateful. Oh my God, last year, the Spotify Wrapped, we made it to the top 5% of video podcasts in the world, which is unreal and unheard of. And I'm so grateful for every single one of you that has listened, gave me a rating. Thank you so much. I just hope that this podcast and the changes that I'll be making really resonates with the audience. And I hope that you guys will grow with me. But with all that being said, I will see you all next Tuesday.